surface kind of hollow underneath those rocks?
Yes and no. I wouldn't expect it to be like so.
Hey everybody, welcome to Studio 64. My name's David. I've been searching the interzones for more science, space and tech news to share with you, and came across some marine biology over here at ABC News in Australia. Yes, apparently animals have been found living under the seafloor for the first time and include worms and snails. Now this is literally under the seafloor. This is fascinating. Never thought life could exist under that, you know. Really sort of makes you think how life could exist on other planets. It's fascinating stuff. Yes, so apparently a new study found giant tube worms live not just on the seafloor surface, but also underneath it. Yes, in short, a deep-sea submersible found worms and snails living in cavities below the seafloor, the first time animals have been discovered in such habitats. The creatures may have been pushed into their subsurface home by swirling waters from a nearby hydrothermal vents. What's next? Researchers are now checking for microscopic animals present under the seafloor's surface. This is fascinating. Now, beneath the seafloor, under hydrothermic vents spewing hot water, a community of animals thrive. Now, that's according to a study published today in Nature Communications, which reports for the first time animals living in cavities below the seafloor in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of Central and South America. Now, the team behind the find originally set out to undertake another experiment when they made the discovery, according to one of the researchers, Sabine Gulner, from the Royal Netherlands Institute for Sea Research. Again, this is absolutely amazing. I'm not a scientist myself. I just love all types of science and technology and just love sharing this with everybody. This is incredible. Yes, they couldn't believe their eyes. They saw giant tube worms, Riftia pachyptila. See, I told you I'm not a scientist. I've forgotten the Latin, even though I went to a Catholic school. Surprise. Each up to 0.5 metre long, as well as snails and other types of worms dwelling in cavities formed by sheets of cooling lava 2,500 metres below sea level. We immediately knew we'd made an important discovery, Dr. Goldner said. Yes, now this will be interesting. Life under a hydrothermal vent, which opens up thoughts about if we've got moons in our solar system, like the video yesterday, that NASA's visiting Europa. So can you imagine if on that ocean world, because there's a massive saltwater sea there could be hydrothermic vents there. Could have life in it. It's a possibility. Hydrothermal vents form at the boundary of two tectonic plates deep in the ocean. Water is heated to scalding temperatures by magma below the surface and shoots out of fissures in the seafloor onto the cold water above. Now, this mineral-filled hot water cools and deposits material around the vents, producing volcano-like tubes. Now, while the vents themselves can be extremely hot, the environment around a hydrothermal vent isn't quite as extreme. Creatures living near the vents can expect temperatures around 20 degrees Celsius, well within the environment that's acceptable for life. This is amazing. But with no light making its way to these depths, these animals living there have developed amazing abilities to produce energy by other means. Now, one of the weirdest is the giant tube worm. The red and white creatures congregate in bunches, and while they can move about when they are larvae, they root themselves to one spot as adults. They have no stomach or digestive system and require an infection from bacteria to produce their energy. The worm provides the bacteria with chemical energy so it can live, while the bacteria provides food for the host, Dr. Goldner said. Now, but while scientists have known that animals lived around the vents, the only life found under the seafloor were microbes, until now. Yes, hidden life revealed. Now, as lava solidifies on the seafloor around hydrothermal vents, cavities can form between lava flows, similar to floors of a house. Now, water can travel through cracks in the seafloor to the cavities, providing cold water for the hydrothermal cycle below. Now, as part of a research effort to study how tube worms disperse in the ocean, Dr. Goldner and her team used a remote-controlled submersible dubbed Sebastian to look for evidence of them in sub-seafloor cavities. Now, I've got a little bit of a video here. We'll check it out, and then we'll carry on the conversation when we come out the other side.
This kind of hollow underneath those rocks.
Yes, no, I wouldn't expect it to be like so. Oh, that's cool. You can see. Very good.
That's what I
All right, so we'll just let that sit there.
Okay, very good. So, can I use the camera? Can you leave the rock like it is?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and I see the cliff is on the sit camera in the middle on the top there.
Yeah, this is Steve.
Okay. So I'm just gonna stay underneath you and help. Gonna go up and I'm just rotate. Yeah, you're just gonna make it worse. No, I'll just go up. Yeah.
So we got 3 pilots right now.
Oh, we broke it.
Exactly what it is.
It's still good. Oh, fine.
And that was quick.
Okay. So. Can you keep still for a moment? Ooh la la. Nice. Great. Ooh la la. Nice. Great. Ooh.
Peeled
Let
back.
things settle a bit, Salva, and then we
Huh?
close up. Before
This is not in focus. Highlight. Okay.
Well, that was absolutely amazing. Was to see that all in action, and as I say, looked like it was a little bit of a mess, but I tell you what, to discover life under the seafloor, incredible. Now, to date, no tube worm larvae ever been found in ocean water samples. The researchers thought maybe the larvae dispersed via these subsurface fluids, so they used Sebastian to crack open the top layer of a lava shelf and gain access to the cavity below. The submersible took video and samples of what was below the seafloor. Now, to our surprise, we found all kinds of hydrothermal vent animals, Dr. Goldner said. The team hypothesized that the swirling water from the vent, which percolated below the surface, might push larvae of giant tube worms and other creatures into cavities where they settle and take root. And there we have Monica Bright, Sabine Goldner, and colleagues discuss the dive operations. What a lucky team. Can you imagine being part of that? That'd be fantastic. I've always wanted to be part of a scientific team making discoveries like that. That'd just be awesome. But if there's any marine biologists out here, or any astrobiologists even, what does this do for astrobiology, let alone, Earth-based marine biology? This is fascinating. Andrew Fisher, a hydrogeologist, at the University of California, Santa Cruz, who was not involved with the paper, says scientists have known for a while that large gaps can be present under the surface of the seafloor. Now, where there is space, life often finds a place to take hold, Professor Fisher said. But, he said, finding evidence of such life is difficult because it lurks in small spaces and needs just the right conditions. That said, I don't think a lot of people have been looking systematically. There are other goals for a lot of vent expeditions, a lot of interesting life at the surface worthy of exploration. Now, for this study, the researchers could only look at the first layers under the seafloor, but with multiple layers of lava cavities beneath the surface, there may be animals even further down. The bigger critters may not be found too much deeper, but we really don't know, Professor Fisher said. Smaller, especially mobile creatures, could go a lot deeper, as long as they have a source of nutrition. Now, this is the part where it gets interesting. What to me, anyway. What about other worlds? Now, while this is an exciting discovery for Earth, it may also have implications for other water worlds, such as Jupiter's moon Europa. Now, as usual, I'll leave the link to the main article below the video, so you can pop in, check out the embedded links, go for a bit of a deeper dive if you want. Makes for a very interesting read, believe me. Now, Professor Fisher has undertaken research investigating hydrothermal vents on Europa and Saturn's moon Enceladus and believes there might be similarities. I've done videos on Saturn's moon Enceladus and Europa on the channel, so do check them out. They're really fascinating. Now, when probes finally land on Europa and burn through the ice to explore the underlying ocean, I would not be surprised if they find hydrothermal flow, but finding life is a bigger challenge, he said. Yes, Earth's seafloor and ocean are connected by it to the global carbon cycle, which ultimately depends a lot on photosynthesis. Elemental cycle processes on Europa, Enceladus and other bodies are likely to be very different, and it is not clear if conditions will be right for life to develop. If they are, it could be very different from on Earth. Now, as you'll see here, one of these embedded links here is a little story on the Europa Clipper probe, which are lifted off from Cape Canaveral. That's the video from yesterday. Do check it out because it's literally on the way to see if there's life on Europa. Absolutely magnificent. Love it. Yes, back on Earth, the study's authors are now trying to classify data collected through the expedition and hope to find microscopic animals that might have been missed on Sebastian's video recording. Now, in the future, we would like to explore if this subsea floor habitat also exists in other parts of the ocean. So, for example, at hydrothermal vents in the Atlantic Ocean, Dr. Goldner said. Absolutely fascinating. And as I say, the link directly to this Europa mission, because if we can find life in such inhospitable climates such as under the ocean floor, the hydrothermal vents, what could we find here in space? Absolutely fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. All right, well, my name is David. Thanks for joining me for another Studio 64 Science, Space and Tech News update. I shall see you with the next one. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you're up for it, drop a comment down below the video because I'd love to hear what you think. All right, take care. And as I always say, if you can't be good at it. And as I also always say,
please, Spock, do me a favor and don't say it's fascinating. No. But it is interesting.